Good morning, designers. We're super excited to be here with you today. My name is Risa Eldon, and I'm here on behalf of Ivy, a project management tool for interior designers. And joining me live, actually both from North Carolina, are Liz Goldberg of CAROLYNLEONA and Ashley Grigg of High Point Market Authority. And we are going to be talking about all things High Point Market today, from what shoes to wear to if you haven't booked travel to your favorite vendors and the best parties. And before we get started, I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. So if you aren't familiar with Ivy, we are definitely a tool to help you manage your business more efficiently, ranging from creating proposals to tear sheets to managing your vendors to connecting with other designers. Those are a couple of the things we're really good at, and we really want to help you leverage technology to take your business to that next level. We have a slew of events happening at High Point Market, which you'll find out about, including in-depth hands-on training with some Ivy gurus all day Friday at our vendor partner Abyssin's showroom space. They've just created a brand new 25,000 square foot showroom, which you will hear a little bit more about. But without further ado, I want to introduce our amazing hosts, and I'll start with Ashley. So Ashley is the Director of Marketing Communications at High Point Market Authority. Ashley manages a wide variety of projects, including, she does everything basically, including media relations, educational programming, social media and digital promotions, for the largest home furnishings trade show, which we know is High Point Market. And we're super excited because I know that so many designers that haven't been to High Point Market, this market, are coming for the first time ever. And it is a little bit far away for some people, but that should never hold you back. It's an amazing market, and we're so excited to have you joining us today, Ashley.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Great. And then we have Liz Goldberg of CAROLYNLEONA. Liz is the founder and principal at her Raleigh-based interior design firm, but she takes projects anywhere and everywhere, traveling near and far. She translates her passion for food, fashion, and all things beautiful into the spaces that she creates. You can always find her wearing a really cute, amazing blouse with cute sneakers at market. Since she's been going to High Point since she was a little girl, she definitely knows how to dress, so she'll give you some tips. Her style combines lines with depth, creating designs that are engaging and purposeful. Liz uses her outgoing personality and design expertise to turn a client's vision into reality, leaving every space well dressed. So thank you so much, Liz, for joining us, and both of you guys joining us right from North Carolina.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Great. And today, what we're going to be covering is, one, how to tackle the 12 million square feet that makes up the world's largest home furnishings trade show. And that is no joke. It is really vast, but we're going to make you experts today. How to plan for an upcoming trip to High Point Market, the tools and resources available to buyers and designers to make market easier, and insider tips and tricks. So without further ado, I'm going to let you take it over, Ashley.
Thanks, Risa. I appreciate that. I want to start out with a few fun facts for those of you, and some of you that have actually been to market may not even have heard these, but trying to grasp exactly how large market is. You hear 12 million square feet, you hear 13 city blocks worth, and that doesn't even include the outlying showrooms. But if you want to try to get a little sports analogy in here, it's equal to the size of about 201 football fields. So that gives you a little visual there. Also, in an average market, our transportation system takes over 150,000 trips. And that's from the Thursday before market starts to Wednesday, the last day. So in just a week's time span, we're taking a lot of trips. And that's all there for you as buyers. We're looking at anything from airport shuttles to hotel shuttles. We run to about 95 different hotels in the area. Also, we do shuttles in the downtown area. We have Go Anywhere shuttles. We have Park and Ride shuttles, all here to make it easier for you to get around what is known as the High Point Market District. So another fun fact for you, the construction in the IHFC building, and for those of you who don't know, we actually have 180 buildings around market. IHFC is the largest one, But in that building alone, the construction that happens each year in there is equal to building 1,200 family homes. So you can see that the exhibitors are super excited about the buyers coming to market. They try very hard to make it new and fresh every single time. So every 6 months, you're going to come and you're going to see something different, and we're very excited about that. Also, the city of High Point recycles over 500 tons of cardboard each market. We certainly know the importance of recycling, and I just love that fact. But 500 tons each market. So there's some fun facts for you to get started. Let's go to the next slide, Liz, if you can switch for me.
Sure,
and if you are new to market, I wanted to give you an overview of where to start. And the place you're going to want to go is start with our website, which is highpointmarket.org. So highpointmarket.org. Go there, and there's tons of information. Just sit down with some snacks some evening and try to digest everything that's on that page. If you're new to market, there's a ton of things there. If you, on the home page, we have the preview guides for spring market. They are currently up, so you're going to want to go and you're going to want to click through those if you didn't get them in the mail. Registered buyers that are registered by a certain date, get them in the mail. But we also have a digital right there on our website. And then if you're not getting our e-news, make sure on the homepage you scroll down below the preview guides and fill out that form so you're making sure you get our e-news, and that's year-round information about market. A really popular page on our website is products and trends. So here we're talking about all of the home fashion and what's new and what's coming up. You'll see things like the what's new section I'm going to talk about in just a minute, but new product picks. So what's debuting at spring market. This is also where we house our style spotters pages, and they're the ones that write the trend report after market called the style report. You'll see some information from forecasters like Fashion Suit and stuff. There's a ton of articles there, and we're refreshing it on a weekly basis. So make sure you check that out. Tips and Insight is another great place to go and read some really informative articles. We have a lot of education information on there and some networking and such. If you're looking at your trip planning, this whole section is going to be where you're going to go, not only to look at details for how to get to market. It's going to talk with you in there about all of those things. But also, once you get to market, once you're here, the Plan Your Trip has some information in there as well. If you are like me and a type A personality and like to check things off a checklist, we've got a checklist there for you to do. If you want to book your hotel online, you can do that. Or you can actually use our concierge service with Travel Quest. It's completely free for them to book that hotel for you, and it'll make sure that you get on our hotel shuttle route, which is important. And there's even a video there. If you don't want to take the time to read it all, you can watch the Plan Your Trip video. That's all right there. Another very important section on our website is the events. And I know people are building out their schedules right now, so make sure that you're going to the events. You can look at feature events. We have event filters, so you can break it down by neighborhood. You can break it down by educational and social and product insights and all of that. That's there. And we even have, it's not on this slide, but our exhibitor site, I'll talk about it a little bit when we get into my market. If you want to search for exhibitors, of course, we have 2,000 exhibitors at market, and you're going to want to search to find who you want to visit. That would be in that really intensive exhibitor search area. That's all there with tons of filters where you can narrow it down to who you're looking for. Let's flip over to the next slide, please. I want to talk about, this is a new area of our website. It's actually just revamped. It's our new product premier program, and we've refreshed it. We're calling it What's New, because we know as a buyer that one of the main reasons we hear that people are coming to market is because they want to see what's new. You need to know what's going to be hitting retail shelves, or what you can source into a project as a designer here in these next 6 months, what's available to you, and that's why you're coming to market. So we're doing our best to feed all that information to you right here on this page. So under the What's New page, and you can get to that by going to the Products and Trends section of our website, we have new product picks. Exhibitors are allowed to submit up to 3 new product images for this, and so it's kind of fun, like Pinterest style page where you can really scroll through and you can see the images, and then you can also click and get a little bit of information. It's just a quick teaser of new products coming to market. It's certainly not a comprehensive list, because some don't even have photography yet for their new products. They're that new. We also have Style Spotter Stories. In February, we did a kickoff to this What's New page. We called it Inspiration, and our Style Spotters were dropping social media content for an entire week long about some of the new things coming to spring market. And they actually went and visited and sat down with some exhibitors. Some of them did factory tours. We even have Ben Johnston was over in Europe looking at some of the new fabric that's coming to spring market. So you might want to check out some of their stories. It was really interesting. And then we've also added a new element called Be the Buzz, and we kicked that off last week. We turned the tides around and we said, now we want to hear from you all as buyers. What are you excited about seeing at market? And we want you to put that out on your social. We want you to tag us, and then we're going to turn around and share that. So we've been doing that with a lot of brands. You'll see they're putting out their new information. We're trying to get onto our social, our Facebook and our Instagram and Twitter, all of those new details so that you can see that. And then we're going to be also curating some of that onto this What's New page here. So trying our best to get that information out to you. We flip to the next slides. Real quick, I wanted to touch base on some of our featured events coming up. If you're a designer and you're looking for CEU accredited seminars while you're at market, you might as well kill two birds with one stone and get some CEUs while you're here shopping. You can do that through our Design Viewpoint series. And these are sessions that we do with our partner, ASID. They're at noon on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of market. And lunch is even included. So you can come in and get a complimentary box lunch. You can sit down on Saturday. You can see here, you can hear from Luann Nigera, the great podcast host. Scroll to the next one. You can see on Sunday, we're going to be talking about tech tools, and these are actual designers who are using these different tools, and they're going to talk about how each one integrates and works well with their business, and just an open conversation about that. Of course, IVB will be included in that conversation. And then on the next slide, you can see that our Monday session is talking about social media, which is obviously a huge and very important topic right now. How do you use social media to translate into new business for you? That's what we're going to be talking about on Monday. We also have our keynote series coming up. So next page, you'll see we've got Saturday afternoon at 2:30. If you want to sit down and have a little bit of fun and an opportunity to interact with these guys, we've got Clinton Smith moderating a game show style / panel discussion event with Tom Felicia, Carson Kressley, and Michelle Smith Boy. That's going to be a ton of fun, and I can't wait. And then on the next slide, you'll see on our keynote series wrapping up, we'll actually have Bobby Burke. Sophie Donaldson's going to be sitting and having a conversation with him about everything that he's been doing, because he's launching with ART this market. He has, of course, the Netflix show. He's got an incredible background in both design and retail. He's a really interesting story. We also have, and Risa, I know you're going to talk about their Liz in the next, but you might see that there's some Ivy events coming around market. So you'll see that there. They've got everything from a day-long Ivy Academy on Friday to some other events throughout the week. You're right, Risa, you're going to be very busy. So make sure you stop into some of the Ivy events there. Let me flip back on the next slide. We're going to talk a bit about My Market. So when you're planning your trip, how are you supposed to keep all this together and set your schedule without having to just write it down on a piece of paper and then bring that with you? If you want to do it digitally, we've created a tool to let you do that. So My Market has a desktop application. All you do is on our website, you'll see the My Market page, and you can go in, and as you're searching through your our exhibitor profile and as you're searching through our event calendar, you'll see little stars next to each of those exhibitors and events. What you're going to want to do is you make a My Market account. As you find an exhibitor that you want to visit, you hit that little star, and that adds it to a list in your My Market account. You can also do that with events. You hit the star, it adds it to your event list. So when you're in your My Market account, either on your desktop or in your mobile, you can see this is my personalized list of everything that I want to do at market and everyone that I want to go see. And that's really helpful to have. I hope a lot of people are using that portion of it. We also have in the High Point Market app, which is available in the Apple Store, there's also some great navigational tools in there. In some of the larger buildings, it actually has Bluetooth mapping, and so it can take you to the elevator that you need to go to and tell you which floor to go up. And then to all of the locations, we have GPS mapping outdoors that can bring you right to the door of that building. So My Market's a great tool. If you're not using it, I highly encourage you doing it. In the next slide, I want to talk about the point. This is something that was new for us in spring last year. So this will be our third market with this service. It's a pop-up that we build literally in the middle of the street because it's a closed down area of the street. It's right next to the main transportation terminal. So when the shuttles drop you off from your hotel, you're going to see this tent structure that we've built. And I want you to make sure that, especially if you're a new buyer, come and stop by. The Point has a ton of programming there. We're doing retailer roundtables. We're doing designer roundtables. We'll have some celebrity meet and greets. We've got mixers in the evenings. But for new buyers on this call today, I wanted you to realize that we also have our market advisor staff there. And what they can do is they can sit down and they can take some time to talk with you through your schedule, or if you have a certain product category that you're looking for, they can show you how to search for that. They're there to help you, and they can answer all your questions. We also, of course, have info booths, but if you wanted to sit down for a little bit longer of a conversation, the Point's a great place to do that. Make sure you check out the schedule too. There's a lot of fun things going on. Let's see what's next on the next slide here. We also have, sorry, my papers. Okay, let's connect. Yes, if you're not following us on social, we want to connect with you. So please be sure that you're watching our Facebook, on our Instagram, and our Twitter. We're putting all the news out there. And you also probably in these weeks leading up to market, you want to be watching the hashtag HPMKT. That is very active at this point leading up to market and all the way through on a year-round basis. There's tons of people sharing information on that hashtag. If you need additional help, you can always call us. Our market advisor team is available at 336-869-1000, or you can email info@highpointmarket.org, or just like I said, stop by the Point. That's a good start. I didn't want to take up too much of Liz's time because she's actually walked market like a designer. So I'm going to turn it over now, Liz. And then, of course, if any of you have questions as we get to the end, I'll certainly be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ashley. That was great information. Hello, designers. I'm really excited to talk to you about High Point Market. I've been going to market now for many years with my firm, CAROLYNLEONA. I go twice a year and I don't miss market. We're going to dive into why I attend. I've also attended market as I was growing up. My family has a gift shop and I've attended through the years with them. So I feel like I have a really good grasp on market and have some good tips and tricks to share. So High Point Market is the furniture capital of the world. And why I love it is everything is accessible to you in one place. We're getting out from behind our computer, our local showroom, our office, and just exploring all our industry has to offer. I really think High Point is a cool experience for each firm because you can really spend your days in so many different ways. You can set up all days with your tried and true vendors. You can set up days just deepening those relationships. You can set up time roaming and exploring to find yourself new vendors and just innovative products. Or you could choose to go to educational route and just attend as many seminars and panels as possible to enrich your time there. But the best part about market is you can mix and match all three and design the best market for you and where you're currently at with your business. So every market really could be structured different for you. And that's exactly why I attend spring and fall. Logistically, which is important, from Raleigh and Charlotte, there's a shuttle that runs 6 times a day, and you do need to make a reservation first. Once you get to market, I always say go check into your hotel, ditch your bags. There's free shuttles to and from. Ditch your car. I would rely on High Point's free shuttles, which are fabulous, as well as Ubers and Lyfts if the time of the shuttle doesn't work for you. The shuttles are actually really nice, and I found it's a great way to meet other designers, exchange business cards, talk about a showroom maybe you haven't heard of, learn of a new restaurant. It's just a nice way to connect with the community. If you decide you do want to drive, there are 2 free parking lots. Otherwise, you have to pay to park. And the best advice I can give you is book your hotel as soon as you leave the previous season's market. Don't stress. The hotels where you stay is not as important. You're really not in the room that much. You're going to be out and about experiencing these events and at market. So get your hotel booked because they do book up fast. I double check Proximity, which is a fabulous hotel and is already booked up. You can also look in Winston-Salem and Greensboro, so don't feel like you just have to stick to hotels in High Point. But those are a little bit further away. But as of now, I already looked for market right now for April, those hotels are booked as well. At this point, if you haven't booked your accommodations, I recommend calling the concierge service through High Point Market, which is fabulous, and they can help you navigate and book your hotel, see what might be available. Or if any of your friends have rooms at their Airbnb, crash with them. I've seen even people post on Ivy in our network looking to bunk with each other. So there's lots of different options for where to stay. Just plan ahead.
Yeah, but even, sorry, I'm interrupting you, Liz. People have been emailing me and texting me. I know somebody, and I just saw on Instagram, somebody has a room that opened up like 2 years ago. I went last minute, and don't let this hold you back from going. You can find a place to stay, really in the Ivy Facebook group, or you can email me. I'm happy to help you. Or somebody just called the High Point concierge and they helped them find a space. So please don't let this hold you back from coming.
That's so true, because some people end up changing plans at the last minute and there could be a room available.
Yep, exactly.
All right, so let's move on. I discussed a little bit tried and true vendors, but it's really important that you plan ahead and check out your tried and true vendors. I love to touch and feel everything in person, really get to know the frames. I sit in them. I dive as deep as I can at this opportunity to be in front of everything. I take pictures, and I'll explain later on of how I categorize all of those. Finding new vendors is just as important. There's so much out there. Leave time to explore. As far as educational events, you can find these on High Point Market, as Ashley mentioned, their website and their app. I am a huge fan of their app. That's how I get through my market days, is just what she said. I star everything I know I want to see or attend, and I follow those stars. And actually, after I see the showroom I wanted to see, I unstar it, and so my list gets shorter and shorter as I go. Ivy always has a great panel. I'm actually attending the Ivy Academy this year. It's all day Friday, and I'm really excited about that. I know Monogram is sponsoring an ASID panel. In the past, I've attended different speaking sessions with Amy Fleury and have learned a ton. Through her, I've connected with Jane Dagny and different editors and have heard them speak. You can go hear celebrity designers speak. You can go listen to smaller designers who offer tips and tricks, who are navigating really similar business strategies and issues as you are. So you're going to be able to soak up so much information. Just try to dig deeper into what you want to see so you're not overwhelmed when you get there. Pull out the highlights and get those on your calendar. I always find if I talk to the designers, vendors, other industry professionals, there's so much to learn, and you can grow and network. Exchange business cards. Before you head to market, print 100, 200 business cards and keep filling them up every day back in your hotel. Restock your bag, because that's the most important thing, is the networking, and those relationships just continue to grow. So let's talk about showrooms. There's so many showrooms, as you'll see. The bigger ones that I always like to go and I recommend are Universal. When you go to Universal, you do need to make an appointment ahead of time. When I say make an appointment, I always recommend emailing or calling your local rep and scheduling the day and time you plan to attend so they can tour you through your showroom. Forehands, you do not need an appointment. That's when you can just come in and out and walk through. At Sura, you don't need an appointment. However, I like to make one because I prefer our rep they do a scan wish list system. As we're looking for things for current projects, they scan everything, and at the end, they'll email us pictures and SKUs of our entire wish list, which is a really nice added benefit that they offer. Baker is a must-see for everybody. It's just a dreamy, beautiful showroom. It has gilded archways. It's fun to walk through. You don't need an appointment there. And of course, visual comfort, great lighting, no need for an appointment. Cool thing about visual comfort I've found is you never know who you'll be standing next to. Last market, I looked and I was standing next to the editor of AD, Architectural Digest, which I thought was super cool. We're gonna move into smaller, sort of more secret, hard to find showrooms that are fabulous and really easy to work with. Red Egg, I love. It's in a cute little house, sort of tucked around the corner from a bunch of bigger showrooms. So it's not remote at all. You just have to sort of know it's there. Zoe Bios is fabulous art, and it's located in this gorgeous old tile showroom. So just check out the flooring, the original flooring when you're in there. Rochambeau, their price points have actually gotten really good lately. The lighting's gorgeous. I find with lighting, it's better to see the scale in the showroom and talk to the people. versus always just seeing those products online. And of course, Fabric Hut offers a great designer window treatment program, and they're showing their new furniture frames. They currently have a pretty small showroom at High Point. I know they're looking for a bigger space, but that's one I wouldn't miss. I love their products. As far as going the antique and vintage route, High Point has their own antique hall located in Market Square. For your first trip to market, I recommend to plan at least an hour, taking your time and walking through the antique hall. A lot of the vendors, a lot of the dealers, it won't be for you. It's very much a mix of eras and styles. However, you're gonna find those select dealers that you just love. And my big tip is they always seem to set up in the same spot, market after market. So the next market, you don't necessarily need an hour, maybe you need a half hour because you know exactly where you wanna go and you've navigated it before. Schwung Home is a fabulous antique vintage showroom, and I just think that their building is gorgeous and it's a really fun experience to walk through. Bobo Interesting Objects. Bobo's a fun one as well. It's more of a mix. There's some old and some new, so it's a bit more eclectic. And next door to Bobo, there's a really cool vintage find shop. I don't remember the name of that antique dealer, but it's really large next to Bobo, and that's definitely worth checking out. So getting into the app, I believe you must plan out your High Point Market days, but also leave time to sort of experience market and see what you see. So I would schedule and call ahead and schedule appointments. Think of like Lee and Vanguard, Bernhardt, Theodore Alexander's. Those are big upholstery showrooms. You do need appointments. So your go-to upholstery showrooms, call ahead, schedule those appointments. You're going to be walking building to building, and you're going to want to explore what's in between those buildings, what you haven't seen before. So don't schedule those appointments back to back. I always say, let's plan 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and leave the rest of the time to just sort of get out there and see what we see. You can also, Ashley was mentioning that hashtag, the High Point HPMKT hashtag on Instagram. That's another fun way before you go to market to sort of dig deeper into what other people, what showrooms they're talking about, and see what else you want to put on your wish list. So food and parties. High Point is fun. High Point is a lot of work, but it's just a fabulous experience. So where to eat, where to find the best food. Breakfast, Universal has a great breakfast, so maybe schedule your Universal appointment early that morning. Lunch, a lot of these showrooms offer great sort of finger foods throughout the day. You're never going to be that hungry when you go to market. There's always an option. But if you want a true sit-down lunch, Theodore Alexander does lunch, Jonathan Charles, Fabric Hut, Lee, Abison. Great showrooms. You go there during lunchtime, you take your tour, and you grab a complimentary lunch. Cocktail hour. Cravat on Saturday evening has a really fun cocktail hour. It's kind of the C&B scene, lots of designer celebrities there. They have hors d'oeuvres, so that's a fun one. And then I always like Four Hands if you need a sort of midday, late afternoon Bloody Mary. They make a great one. Dinner, I would absolutely make your reservation now at the Proximity Hotel. It's just a gorgeous little experience. It's a place to see all your friends. A lot of vendors hang out there, and it's a fabulous dinner. I do recommend packing your favorite little snack bars, nuts, apple, whatever it might be, to keep in your bag in case you're not a fan of what they might be passing out, because there's not a true lunch restaurant. There's some grab-and-go places, but I always like to have some nuts on hand. And no need to bring a water bottle. All the vendors are passing out waters throughout the day. As far as parties, there's a lot going on, and again, you can check your app, but a Saturday night, Ivy is doing a great grand opening party with Abison. There's gonna be live music, so I'm sure that's gonna be a good time. Sunday is the Four Hands party, and Monday, Universal is having a party with live bands and dancing and lots of good things to do. So, let's see, we discussed these. And let's head to what to pack and kind of what to wear. And, be you. Dress comfortably for yourself. Show your style. I would say High Point's sort of our little bit of our fashion week for our industry. And it's fun. And it's show you who you are. Everyone always says you need to pack comfortable shoes. But this time, we actually really mean it. What's different about High Point is there's so many huge buildings, as Ashley was touching on. It's really spread out. You're walking miles and miles and miles every day. I have found you want to pack a different pair of shoes that are comfortable each day and rotate those shoes, because a pair of shoes that's comfortable the first day, after walking miles, that next day when you put them on, not so much. So switch up your shoes. As far as handbags go, I always do a crossbody bag with just my essentials. The vendors hand out free tote bags, so you'll grab one of those for some brochures or business cards that you get. But big tip here is only take the business cards from the vendors. They're going to be handing you these huge clunky brochures and catalogs, and some of them are the size of those old phone books. Ask them if they could please mail you so you don't have to carry them around all the time. And I found they're very happy to mail you any of their marketing materials aftermarket. I personally do not bring a roller suitcase. Instead, I find it best to have the vendors mail me everything, and I just make sure I collect all of their business cards, and that's the only thing I'm really lugging around. It's a really good trick. Weather here in North Carolina in April can be rainy. Buy one of those teeny tiny foldable umbrellas or a lightweight raincoat that maybe when you're in the building you could just sort of fold up and stash in that free tote bag as you carry it around. And then plan to layer. You're in and out of buildings, weather fluctuates. You know, if it's a light sweater that you can throw in that bag, just plan for comfortability, but show who you are. It's really fun. Definitely bring an external charger for your phone. They're like the Mofis are about $100 and they're well worth it. You can usually find places to charge your phone, but having your own external battery pack is so huge because you're taking so many pictures and you're probably going to be posting on social media, and you'll go through those batteries quickly at market. So word for the wise, how I stay organized. When I go to market and I go into a showroom, let's say it's day one, I'm in my first showroom, and I see a chair that we just adore. It's perfect for a certain project that we're working on. We take a picture of that chair. That's how I remember it. It's one picture, one chair. Then after that shot, the next picture I take is zoomed in close of just the SKU, the label, the tag the vendor has. That's going to give me the name, the SKU, the showroom and vendor where I am. So that way when I walk away, I won't forget. My entire camera roll goes picture, label, so I can categorize later. There's no need to notate anything more. So if you have a team of people with you, we like to create shared albums by project. And this is really important. So as you're sourcing for different projects, let's say you have the Jones project, the Smith project, we create these shared albums. Now, as I found that great chair in my first showroom, I'm going to put that great chair and that next picture of just the label into that Jones album. So when we get back from market, it's done. All of our sourcing is project by project. So we get back from market, I feel pretty organized. Then I have my intern go through all of the project albums, and she uploads every item into a storyboard. So then from there we can access them and get our presentations tightened up for clients if we need to request fabrics, materials, whatever it is. Let's say you fall in love with a desk, a lamp, but you don't have a specific project for it. It's just something you want to remember for later. We create a CAROLYNLEONA, a CL High Point Market. This year will be spring 2019, shared folder. And that's where everything goes that maybe doesn't have a home yet, but we know we're going to place it soon. This way, we're also going to create a storyboard for just ourselves of all these items. So as we're sourcing through the coming months, it's a place to go back and remember some of our favorite finds from market. It's a great way to just revisit. Make sure you keep up with these photos every day, because if you get behind, the process won't be as smooth. When you get back from market, if you don't have a great system laid out, it can be a bit overwhelming. So I have found this really works well for our team. And that's all I had, Risa.
Awesome. That was really great information, Liz and Ashley. Thank you so much. We can roll into questions. A couple of things that I wanted to mention is one, and I'm going to go ahead and share our faces again so you guys can see us, but that you might not need an umbrella, because if you are within the first 100 people to RSVP to our grand opening party, which I will share the links on everything shortly, then you can go ahead and RSVP and you'll get an Ivy umbrella. I'm very excited about that. And two, So there was a question that somebody had about a dedicated Ivy meetup within all of our events. And Liz, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're just going to want to go ahead and stop sharing your screen, but there, we got you. I got you. We're all good. So now I just lost my train of thought. A dedicated Ivy meetup. So yes, we normally do have dedicated Ivy meetups. That will be just in terms of our events. Friday will be an all day long Ivy Academy. And if you've attended Ivy Academy before, there's a lot of networking that happens there. The day we have a dedicated panel just for the people that are registered for Ivy Academy, and that's at 2:45 on Friday. So a lot of learning there. A big takeaway, and I know Liz touched on this, and I talk to every designer, it's not just networking, it's actually networking and learning what other designers are doing so that you can take home that advice. We definitely put together content for you to learn how to take your business to that next level, but this is your time to shine. And if you're on the fence of thinking about going to High Point, I definitely would say that this is a place to not only meet people, but to really learn how people are functioning and running their businesses. On the Friday at Ivy Academy, we'll be doing roundtable sessions as well, learn what people are sharing in their contracts, how they're charging, really all of the education that you need so you can kind of then spend the weekend after Friday, not you can learn, but like more engaging in parties and the fun, and really nail down the education piece. And so I would say come to that, or Saturday will be an Ivy meetup at the grand opening party. There'll be a lot of Ivies there. And then Sunday we'll have meet an editor, Kelly Lamb. She's the editor-in-chief, of Rue Magazine. She's amazing, fabulous. And this is a hot topic because everybody comes to me. I get text message, DMs. How do I get published? We've done a lot of awesome sessions with Amy Fleury as well. But this is actually your chance to meet an editor in the raw and learn what she wants to hear and see from you. So your chances of being published in Rue are a little bit higher if you can go direct to the source and make personal content. So I just wanted to really emphasize the in-person, the in-person factor of being at market is irreplaceable, and we do get stuck behind our computers. We do get stuck in client dilemmas and situations, and really getting out there and showing your face will make a really big difference and help you feel confident and comfortable. Don't forget your business cards, guys. That's one thing that none of us mentioned, but business cards are key. If you haven't printed, go to your local print shop, go to Moo, get those business cards printed, and bring 300 or more business cards. Can't stress it enough. And I also like to bring, to add on to what Liz said, you don't want to carry heavy stuff, but I know that sometimes, and I saw a couple questions come in about like the organization of photos. I know, Liz, you're really anal and you're really good at that, but some people get really distracted. So it's hard to stay on top of it and organized. So sometimes it might help you, and emailing on your phone. I'm like not a phone emailing person. I have a really thin laptop, or like people have their iPad with their thing. If you need to bring that to market to help you stay organized and you can't do everything from your phone, I think it's okay to do that. And I do know like a Lindsay Brooke Design has said that she even has her computer with her on the go. So she's placing orders and getting everything preloaded into Ivy like at the end of her days at market. It's insane. She showed me her process. So there are ways to like preload products into your library as well to really help you stay organized so that when you go home, you don't feel like you're spending hours kind of doing things that you already did.
Another tip I just thought of when you were saying business cards, our business card doesn't have our company address on it. So when I know I'm going to market and setting up all these new accounts, we actually make beautiful stickers with our address on them. And when we set up a new account, instead of having to write everything out every time, we can just put the sticker on the form.
Oh, that's actually really smart. Yes, anything to save you time. And just like sometimes I remember when I used to run an interior design firm, I would come with some, if you have like a resale form, in every state it's like a little bit different, but if you have that information out, or you have it like a PDF copy in your email, so again, you don't have to fill out all of that information when they ask for your resale copy, those little things, any printed, any events that you're doing, or any products, if you have a retail store or anything like that that you want to promote, like make sure you make really nice 3x5 25 cards. Susan Winterstein has a really amazing nonprofit, Savvy Giving by Design, and I know I've seen her at market, seen her in Vegas. She carries those cards in her purse, so when she's talking about something, somebody will remember you by that takeaway, because people are meeting so many people that it's hard to remember. And that's really another whole nother topic, but branding, which you know, Liz, is very important. So you want to have a business card that people can remember you by as well.
A great tip. I heard another tip one time, designer Lisa Mende, actually out of Charlotte. She said she prints business cards exclusively for High Point Market. She doesn't hand out the same business card that she gives to clients, because that's one set of information, but she said she has High Point Market business cards. They are maybe not as fancy, but she has plenty of them, as you suggested. And she'll do just her email address, because she doesn't want her phone ringing off the hook when she gets back home from market. She even said if you wanted to go so far, you could maybe set up a specific email address so that everything you know coming in there is people that you've met at market or vendors that you've talked with. I thought that was a really great tip.
That's a really, really great tip. And one other thing I know is that business cards can be expensive, especially because I just said new and they are expensive. And I have these really shiny, pretty like gold leaf business cards. But one thing you could do, since you're not meeting with clients, is really print a cheaper version of your business cards. It doesn't have to be like the thick. It could still be printed nice, but it could be like a thinner card that's a little bit less expensive.
Yeah. There's even some apps out there that you can get where you just take a picture of somebody's business card and it saves it right there into the app. So Lisa, she had that same tip. She said when she gets from a sales rep a business card, she takes a picture of it with that app and just hands it right back to him, so she doesn't have to carry that around either.
That's really nice, because I still have a stack of business cards from K-Biz, from Modernism sitting next to my desk. I am a little bit old school and I do like the physical card, but it would be nice if not only did I take the card, but I had my phone, I scanned it right away, and then it plugged it. A lot of those apps, not only do they scan it, they store it into like a Google Doc for you, and you can actually take that Google Doc of vendor contacts, you can organize it, and then you can upload it into your Ivy account, which is even more amazing. So really helping you leverage technology to be more efficient, and don't have the stack of cards like I do next to my desk. But I promise once they sit there, they'll sit there for long enough and I'll go through them. Still have a stack of thank you notes to write too. Handwritten thank you notes are still a thing, but it is really important to think about what your system is and to lock that down now. Plan it out. If you are bringing an assistant with you, spend 2 hours, put it on your calendar and figure out, okay, what's our game plan? And make a itinerary for your days, because that's another thing, Liz. Somebody had asked, and I wrote down a question, how many days do you recommend for High Point Market as a designer? Like some designers can't go for a full 4 days. They can't afford to take that time off. What do you recommend?
So 3, I think, is ideal before it gets sort of, I think you can do it in 3 really comfortably. If you can't afford to do 3, then 2. 1 is not enough.
Okay.
So 2 is a minimum. I think 3 is ideal, 3 or 4.
Okay. And when you map out your days, I mean, you're kind of like an expert now at this, but do you recommend for a beginner to really map out, like with timing, where they're going to lunch, and kind of set up their own itinerary for themselves so that they can really maximize their time at market?
Absolutely. So the highlights, the must-sees, put those on your calendar. Schedule them with yourself that you're going to be there then. Then from building to building in between, when you leave those holes, that's where you go experience what market has to offer.
Okay. That's
also, when you're setting your schedule, make sure you're looking at the High Point Market app, the map rather. Mm-hmm. We have broken it down, the 13 block districts, into 8 different neighborhoods, and you're going to want to schedule it by day in those various areas, because if you're hopping all around market, that's a really inefficient way to do things. So if you can save, this section for one day, and then maybe a rainy day you're in some of the bigger buildings, and then a different section the other day, that'll really help maximize your market time too.
Cool. And then the one big question I get asked all the time and is tours. So if you've never been to High Point Market, and there are a couple tours that I know, and Ashley, you might know a little bit more, the tours that I wanted to make sure that we talked about, because I've heard great things from other Ivy designers that I've sent them on. Jeannie Chung has an amazing tour, and she does like a whole day tour. She goes to Thayer-Coggin, which is kind of farther away, and make sure that designers really hit the groundwork. And Jeannie Chung is like my High Point Market. Like, she took me under her wing when I first started going. I still don't know a lot of things because I'm on a different end than you guys are. But then I know Laura Thurman is doing an amazing kind of a shorter, it's a trend on bohemian, a global inspiration, I think. And then I think that Jane Dagmy is doing a tour of designers where she takes the designers around to the different showrooms. But if you know any more about that, Ashley, and how people can register, that would be super helpful.
Yeah, there's tons of tours. We do some. We try to capture them as we know them on our website. I don't know about Jane's, but I'm sure she's put that out on the Designers Today social media, so check that out. But on the Find Events section of our website, it actually has a link to market tours. What you mentioned with Jeannie Chung is our Insiders Tour. That's a day-long tour on the Saturday, the opening day of market, and that is specifically for new buyers. And actually that we're gonna have like 2 or 3 slots left on that. Jeannie's is full, but we have 5 tour guides for that if you qualify as a new buyer and you want to get in on that. Laura Thurman's tour, she's part of our Style Spotters Trend Tours. We've just expanded that this market. We have Favorites Tours, which are 2 of Style Spotters favorite tours. Those are happening Tuesday morning of market, right after the Style Spotters live breakfast. It's only an hour out of your day, and they'll share with you a few of their favorite showrooms around market. But we've also expanded that to include some product category tours, because that's what buyers were asking for. They're like, look, I'd want to know where you can find some things that are focusing on a global aesthetic, which is what Laura's doing. Eric Hadel's doing antiques, and Aaron Valenstich is doing lighting. Gary Emmons doing hospitality. There's 6 different of those product category tours. There's 2 a day on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. It's 2 hours out of your day, and then they tag an optional lunch on the end. It does require an RSVP, but it's right there on that Find Events page on our website.
And is that tour, because I know like Jeannie Chung's tour is for, you have to qualify for it, but is Laura Thurman, those type of tours, is that anybody could come to those tours?
It's open to anybody. For the trend tours, for the category ones, they require an RSVP. For the favorite ones, it's for anybody. If you want to come to Style Spotters Live Breakfast, we'll have those tours right after. And then I want to make sure that I mention some of the buildings also do tours. You mentioned Jane. I've also seen like the ASID New York Metro chapter has done tours. I know that Kimberly Selden has done tours before. There's a ton of people out there. I even was talking with the group yesterday, and they're doing a tour for home stagers. There's tons out there, but the buildings will sometimes do tours so you can get a glimpse of their area. So the sweet spot tours, if you want to look at the temporaries over in the Suites of Market Square, that's on the website. And I think Hamilton Highlights is doing a tour. There's a few of them on there as well.
When you said product category, I think that's really smart. A lot of feedback I've heard from designers when it's their first market is they're overwhelmed. Let's say you want to see rugs. You're not going to see rugs all in one building, all down one hall. Rugs are every which way. So don't go in thinking you're going to source your rugs and you're going to source your lamps. It's a little bit of you're going to see something new every time you turn. So just be expecting that and plan for that.
Yeah, definitely. And somebody else had asked what airport is best to fly into. It really depends where you're coming from. I've actually flown into all 3, Charlotte, Greensboro, and Raleigh. Usually Raleigh for me, I'm coming from San Francisco, Raleigh and Greensboro. Raleigh and Charlotte are usually cheaper, and I can get a direct flight there. And then High Point Market has these amazing shuttles, and you just take your suitcase and you get to go on the shuttle, and they're free. And it's usually only about an hour and a half shuttle ride, and it's really seamless. And I just catch up on email. It's not bad. And if you get in too late, you can always take an Uber, or you can have your good friend Liz Goldberg pick you up at the airport in Raleigh and give you a ride. So definitely, if you're coming from the East Coast, there's more direct flights into Greensboro, and Greensboro is literally like 15. It's a dream. It's like 15 minutes or so, Ashley, from High Point Market, I would say. So I sometimes will leave out of Greensboro if I take like a 5 a.m. flight on a Monday morning or something, and I have to be back on the West Coast. But all airports are really easy. The shuttles are really easy. Everybody's really nice. And the Uber and Lyft drivers are all really nice too. So that's kind of why we were saying, for example, like Jeannie Chung, I know she always rents a car, but I have never found a need to rent a car. It's very convenient to just get dropped off right in front, really easy to get into your Uber and Lyft as well. And then definitely at the end of the night, after you come to all of our parties, and the night at Proximity, again, still only 25 minutes from market, have a good dinner, and then wake up and kind of repeat the same thing the next day.
And even if you do rent a car, you're going to have some challenges getting some parking in the downtown area. But what we have on the north side of town and on the south side of town, we have park and ride shuttles. So we have dedicated lots where you can come in, you can park your car there, and then hop on the trolley, and it'll bring you right here to the main transportation terminal.
Yes, one thing I do have to say about the High Point Market shuttles, I think it's genius. You don't even actually have to use Uber and Lyft. I think if you're staying within 3 miles and you have an Airbnb that's close to High Point, I usually always stay directly in High Point. The shuttle, this was like, I've stayed with 2 Ivies the first time I went to High Point Market, because I went like with literally 2 weeks notice. They're like, sure, come stay with us. And you just call this number and the shuttle picks you up and it's free. And it's really convenient. It's really fast. What's the phone number for that, Ashley?
That's our Go Anywhere vans. And it's usually for those areas that within a 3-mile radius that are not serviced by our shuttle routes. It's 336-887-RIDE.
Okay, 336. Yes, I have that. Okay, so we'll make sure to drop that into the chat as well. So you have that. I think I have it saved on speed dial on my phone. Awesome. Well, so let me just make sure we don't have any other questions here. I think we answered everybody's question. Ashley had answered Jennifer's question about the checking in the baggage or not checking in the baggage. That's great. No problem there. I've checked out of my Airbnb and in the morning just check my baggage, and then I just take the shuttle right from there. So you guys make it pretty convenient, pretty easy. And definitely the weather, I would stick to Liz's advice on layering. It can be kind of crazy in a good, fun way, and unexpected where it's sunny and nice and then it starts raining. So just be prepared.
And if it's raining, we have umbrellas in all of our info booths, actually. And I made sure to order the ones that are super small and packable.
Good.
We are prepared.
Umbrellas too, because I was like, what's something that somebody really needs at market? Mm-hmm. And sometimes Avison does have like these little mobile like charging packs as well. We offered them at our last event, so hopefully we'll have those as well. So kind of we'll cover some of your bases there. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to email all of us. All of our contact information is in here, and I'll share it with you as well. You can ask us any questions, and we're super excited to see all of you. If you see Ashley at High Point, that's how I met Ashley. I was like, hi, like we've been emailing. Nice to meet you in real life. So definitely, and same thing, if you have been messaging with somebody from the Ivy Facebook group, like just pull up and say hi, and definitely make sure you say your name that's on Facebook and your business name so people can connect the two. And definitely Liz will be bopping around on market. So you know she's an expert. You can ask her any questions. And we really appreciate everybody joining us today. And we're excited to send you guys all of this information. Yes, there's a lot of follow-up information I will be sending to you guys. And this link that you're watching, somebody just asked if this video will be recorded. So this actually same link will be recorded. So just a couple minutes after we're done, if you missed the beginning part, you can rewatch. All right, guys. And for those of you that aren't using Ivy and do have questions, I can stick around for a couple minutes and answer questions and tell you a little bit more about Ivy. And thank you to Liz and Ashley for joining us today. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. So for those of you who are here that aren't part of the Ivy community and want to know a little bit more, I want to go ahead and share my screen with you and share a couple little things with you that will be helpful. We talked about this during our presentation today, and I want to make sure that even if you are using Ivy, that you're really leveraging these things on the go. So the first thing would be Ivy's mobile app. So with the mobile app, you'll be able to actually track your time on the go. So if you are sourcing from a client, you can just pop up, open your phone, and actually track your time for your clients while you're on the go. You can take pictures of items, as Liz said. You can have vendors email you, or you can literally go to the vendor's website, and this is probably at night, or if you have your computer with you at market, but you can clip items directly from your vendor's website and pull in all of the product information with your Ivy clipper. You can categorize these items. You can add your cost and your markup or purchase fee onto that item as well. And then you can select a vendor. You can add a new vendor into your system if you want to. Really easy to do that. And then you can add the product product description. You can add it directly to a project, or you can just add it to your library. So once you save the product, then you can go back into your Ivy account and you can really create that proposal. For those of you that are, again, just sourcing different products, you can tag it as chairs. So then you can go back into your product library and view all of the chairs that you have in your vendor product library. I love that the tours are going to be based upon product category, because I think that's a really interesting way to also save products into your Ivy account. If you do use that business card app scanner and you want to upload a list of your vendors and you have it in an Excel document, that's really easy to do within Ivy as well. You would see right here, you just take the document and then make sure that all of the categories fit our categories. And then you can go ahead and upload that document right into your Ivy account. You don't have to do it piecemeal. You can upload the whole system right into your Ivy account. And again, this is what your product library will look like. It will save the link from where you clicked from as well. You can easily make your proposal, and most of you know that are using Ivy, you can send that proposal right out to your client. You can accept online payment, bank transfer, credit card, all of the above. And you can also generate your own customized tear sheets with your logo and your branding. So pretty helpful little items here. If you are looking to outsource anything, you can also leverage Ivy's curated network of service providers. You can use people for 3D renderings or business coaches. Some of the business coaches that we work with will be at High Point Market. Definitely go say hi to them as well. Anybody that you've talked to in the community, it's just so great to meet people in real life and to have that kind of experience face-to-face with your peers. So if you have any questions, definitely let us know. I will be at High Point, kind of stationed at the Abston showroom. Again, they have just built an amazing 25,000 square foot showroom. I know it sounds huge. And there's a special design center upstairs where we'll be hosting our Ivy Academy. Pop on in, definitely learn more about their product. And if you have any questions for me, you can email me. I'll drop my email into the chat. It's just Reisa, R-E-I-S-A @iby.co. And also be sending the links to register for the series of events that we mentioned. And definitely there's some great learning sessions in the High Point Market Theater, where I know Laura Thurman will be talking about different tools that she uses. She's an Ivy designer. So pop on by, and thank you again to our host for joining us today. We are very excited to meet you in person in a couple short weeks. All right, see you guys soon. Thank you.